Hello and welcome to the United Stand. Umtiti, Samuel Umtiti is free to join Manchester United this summer. We've got a little bit about Neymar, a fantastic little theory on Mkhitaryan and what's going wrong with Manchester United, as well as an update on Patrick Kluivert. But I do want to start off very quickly, and I'm sorry I'm a minute late for the live people because I had to just check this source. I saw Pankaj in the live comments saying, are we really signing Varane? So I had to go and check this out, and BetStars, never heard of them. BetStars have got Manchester United as 2-1 favourites to sign Varane. What a crock of rubbish. What a load of rubbish. What an absolute load of rubbish. And actually, when you read the line, Manchester United are 2-1 favourites to sign Varane next. This could be when he's 33, not in his early 20s. So it's a nonsense. It's an absolute nonsense. We need to remove our head from the clouds in relation to Varane. He is playing for Real Madrid. He is, I believe, the best centre-back in the world. Why is he going to come to Manchester United? Why is he going to come to United? He's well in contract as well. Why would he leave? I think the Varane argument needs to end. But it's in the Daily Star, quoted from BetStars, of which either I'd probably rather listen to my gran, and she died a couple of years ago, God rest her soul. She loved the football. But she spoke to me as a ghost, she might know something. But anyway, let's talk Samuel Umtiti, because this hasn't come from the Daily Star or BetStars. This has come from the actual club, Barcelona themselves. Get my words out. So, executive at Barcelona has said that Samuel Umtiti is free to leave Manchester United if he leave for Manchester United or any other club if he wants to do that, and they'll just have to accept it. Now, as we know with Samuel Umtiti, he has a release clause of around £50 million, and that, in essence, makes it a situation whereby Barcelona can say what the bloody well like if he decides to go. But I think Barcelona's stance is, if he wants to leave Barcelona, then they can go and they'll just wash their hands of him. He's at the right club. They're not going to be held to ransom with his wages, and if he decides he wants to go, then he can go. So it's an interesting one, because what does it mean to Manchester United if Umtiti signs? It gives us a very good centre-back. I think he's 24 now, good in the air, good on the ball, quick, strong, a beast of a defender, and ideally you'd say him and Bay are almost like, unstoppable as a centre-back pairing. But could he be a replacement for Bay? Bay's not playing much for United at the moment. Do United actually need a centre-back? And do you really want a centre-back who's doing really well at Barcelona but decides he wants to move for a bigger pay packet? Is that the modern game? We've seen people like Oscar go to Brazil. We've seen Carrasco go to Brazil from Atletico Madrid. So it's going to be interesting about Umtiti. I think we have got a chance. But as Sam Som says, £50 million is a steal, and if he fancies it, then let's bring him on. Sharif says he won't leave. My thoughts are that he might leave. Luke Hawson says Sergio Ramos is the best centre back in the world. I actually prefer Varane. I think Varane's the complete centre back. I think he's fantastic, but we've absolutely got no chance in the world of getting him. Andrew Ellis says Chiellini's better than him. Again, I prefer Varane. He's quicker, and I think that's very important in the modern game. But Chiellini's a great defender. You can't knock the Italians, apart from the fact they can't do it in the Premier League. They never have been able to. We've got enough centre-backs, says somebody else, and sort the midfield out first, says Shakes Sherwood. So I wouldn't be surprised if we get Umtiti, and let's see what happens. But Barcelona, I think, are playing a little bit of hardball with him. Let's see where he goes. But I think ultimately he might stay at Barcelona, but United have got a great chance, because £50 million is a steal, and then we know United will pay him way more in the wages than Barcelona can afford. So it's a situation that we might be able to manoeuvre to our capabilities. And let's be honest, a lot of people say we're never going to win a title with Fellaini, we're never going to win a title with Lingard. I don't really think we can win a title with Smalling and Jones either, or Rojo. So some quality centre-back would be good, and I'd much prefer him over Toby Alderweireld, who I think is a Belgian granddad. I mean, he's touching 30, isn't he? 29 and a half by the time he'd play his first game for United in August, so we'll see. Balumku says Rojo out. I'd seen somebody saying Rojo's going to get sold this summer. I cannot see that happening at all. He's just signed a new contract at Manchester United, so I don't really see that happening. But the midfield's what we need to sort. Talking about Fellaini, apparently he has signed the new contract, and the club are just waiting for an opportunity to announce it. I don't want to ruin your weekend just before it starts, but yeah, apparently Fellaini is definitely staying at United, and the mind boggles. I was talking on my FIFA 18 stream at lunchtime, and I said Mourinho is undoubtedly one of the best managers in the world. He's got a fantastic track record, but what is going on in his head at the moment? Smiling on the touchline when he's boring people to death against a crap West Ham team, begging Fellaini to stay, constantly picking Lingard, who wouldn't get in the first team of any top 6 side. He'd be a bench player, and that's what he should be for us. Misuse of Rashford, Pogba, Martial, Sanchez, Mata. Defensively, focused on that, conservative. I don't know, it's like he's had a brain transplant and he thinks he's managing Stoke. I don't know what's going on with Jose. And the players that he's looking to bring in and keep, the mind absolutely boggles. It really does. I don't understand what he's doing at the moment. But before I talk about the next thing, I did want to bring in there, Mkhitaryan is the key. I was speaking to someone in the pub this afternoon, and we were having a chat away about United, and the conversation moved to, what is going on with Manchester United and how do we resolve it, and why are the attackers so poor? And I've said this a few times recently. I don't really want to single out players anymore because it happens to all of them. They've all been part of bad results, and the consistent thing is, we, in the league of creating chances this season, because the season's basically done, United are 6th for chances created, with 336 chances created in the Premier League. 5th place, I think, is Arsenal with 409, which is nearly 80 more chances created than us. And then the rest of them, Liverpool, Chelsea and Man City and Spurs, are way into the 400. So we're painfully behind everybody else in relation to chances created. And that, amongst many other things, is a consistent problem with United that we've mentioned on watch-alongs and throughout this year, that in defence of Lukaku we've used it. Lukaku averages 3 chances a game. I think Harry Kane's like 5.5. We don't create chances. And whether it was watching West Ham last night, Brighton, West Brom, whatever game you've watched, even the games we've won, we don't create many chances. Other teams create loads of chances. Why is that? Because in the final third, we've got no creativity, no freedom, no confidence, and that is the problem with Manchester United. And yes, the midfield are bad, and yes, the fullbacks don't provide balance, but the front 3 or 4 do get plenty of the ball, and they don't do anything with it. And I think that comes from the coaching staff. And I think Mkhitaryan is the key, because as I was saying this in the pub this afternoon, I think we're going to find out a lot about what's gone wrong at Manchester United this season over the next couple of years, when players leave and loose lips speak to the press and it starts to leak out. Whether it's Pogba, Martial, whoever, Mata, who knows? And it might not be any of those, but I think it will come out. But then I thought, actually, it's already come out. Why are we searching for answers when the answers have already come from Mkhitaryan? He's already said numerous times since being at Arsenal, I'm enjoying being here, playing for a team that attacks freely and isn't focused on its attackers defending. These are words from Mkhitaryan's mouth. And Mkhitaryan, like it or not, I felt Mkhitaryan leaving, I said it at the time, was the right thing for him. I think he'd come to the end of the road with United, and I stand by that. But maybe he'd come to the end of the road with United because it just wasn't for him. It wasn't his sort of thing. And, Mkhitaryan was part of those 4-0 FCs, of which we had numerous of them up until September. He was part of that. He had an atrocious October, but he was part of those 4-0 FCs at the start of the season. And he's left, and I think that was the right thing to do. But he's come out and said there's no attacking freedom. It's all about defence. And there you go. If anyone's struggling for it, that is the problem, isn't it? We are a very, very pragmatic, conservative, attacking side. Paul Scholes said it in the Sevilla games. This is Manchester United. You've got to do more than that. You've got to do more than that against Sevilla. And that's something that Carmichael says it's bad, boring training. It does come from the training ground. Of course it does. And I don't think any of our attackers really should be thrown under the bus anymore, because it's so clearly coming from the training ground. And as I said at lunchtime, Mourinho can keep coming out and blaming the players, but I don't think it's washing with anybody now. We've had Luke Shaw, lack of commitment and lazy, runs and starts a fight last night, the only one who wanted it. We've had Martial, lazy, but his tackling and tracking back stats are the same as Lingard. We've had Rashford, criticised. We've had Mata criticised. But the one consistent is, no matter who plays up front for Manchester United or in that front 3, we don't create enough chances and we look lost in the final 3. There's no flow. There's no groove. It's just static. And that comes from the training ground. And I don't get it. I really don't get it. He needs to sort that out in the summer, because we will struggle next season. I think we've done fantastically well this season to finish second. I must admit, I think we've done really well to finish second. And I think we've grinded out a lot of 3 points. But you can't just grind out a title. You can't grind out a title like that. You've got to win games comfortably. And next season, if we carry on like this, it's going to be a painful watch. We might win the league, but it's going to be painful, grinding out games, going to West Ham and thinking a point will be good here. You know, grinding out losses to Huddersfield and Newcastle, grinding out draws at home. We need to be more pragmatic and free. And there's that great quote from Carlo Ancelotti where he says, an organised team can make a normal player look good, but the truth comes out in the final third, because if you haven't got creativity and freedom, an organised team is very, very easy to defend against. And I think we see that with United. We've said it many times on here, haven't we? We're so easy to defend against, because you look at Liverpool, for example, when they're on the break, it's fast, and the opposition defence is all over the place because it's fast, touched football, move fast. When United are playing, the opposition are always back in space, because we'll throw in a sideways pass or an extra touch, which gives the opposition a second or two to get back. We don't move the ball quick enough, and that is the problem that we face. A little bit about some transfer news. Neymar, apparently Manchester United have spoken to his dad. We spoke to his dad last summer. I think he must be in the members club or something. But I'm not going to say Neymar to Manchester United is impossible. I have a feeling this summer we're going to do something significant. Especially if somebody significant leaves, I think we'll see something significant coming in. I would lean towards Gareth Bale, but Neymar's not impossible, although I think he probably will go to Real Madrid. We'll have to keep an eye on that one. But Justin Kluivert, I always call him Kluivert, Justin Kluivert, Patrick's son, at Ajax, Mino Raiola's client. He's been banded around a lot at the moment. Even Man City were linked to him. But apparently he prefers a move to Manchester United. I have my issues with Justin Kluivert, to be honest. I really do, because all he's done is have had a good season in the Dutch League. Memphis had a bloody amazing season in the Dutch League when we bought him. Kluivert's not anywhere near that. I know he's a little bit younger, but he's not anywhere near the season that Memphis had for PSV, the season we bought him. And that worries me, because what are we doing here? Is this a political signing where, Mino Raiola will scratch your back? Yeah, we'll have him. It feels a little bit political to me, because he's only a year older than Tahith Chong, who we've already got. He's 3 years younger than Martial. Is this going to be, we're going to shift Martial, the fan base is going to be really frustrated, but if we sign Justin Kluivert, everyone's going to be like, oh, well, we've got another young player. It doesn't quite wash with me. I'm not convinced by Kluivert at all. I think he's going to need a lot of development, a lot of patience, and we've already got Tahith Chong for that. And we've already got Martial and Rashford, who are way along that development line and just need a little bit more. I'm not convinced by Kluivert. And I think anybody who says, oh, he's a great talent, you're basing it on a Dutch league. He's not done anything in any game that you would go, oh, he's definitely going to work in the Premier League. He's a big, big risk. And I do like youth, but I don't think we need him based on what we've got. I mean, obviously, we might not have what we've got now in a couple of months' time, but I don't like the look of him. Kluivert is decent, but what makes him prefer a boring team over the rest, says Jay Colthurst? Money. And let's be fair, none of us have watched him consistently, says Chris. No, we haven't, Chris. We definitely haven't. But that's the concern, isn't it? I know without watching loads of Kluivert, and I've watched little bits, but I mean, I'm not going to admit to say, and I've watched him 6 or 7 times this season, far from it. But I know for a fact that the Dutch league is poor, and that's where he's predominantly played his football. Little bits in Europe, but predominantly he's playing in the Dutch league. How can you say, oh, he's a good signing? How can you say selling Martial and getting Kluivert is a good deal? It's not. It's a total risk. And as I said, his age, he's so close to Tahith Chong in age. I don't know. It just seems an odd signing, that does. And I'm sort of hoping that we're not going to do it. They have got better in 2 ways because Jose doesn't give them a damn chance. And James Redknapp's a clueless pundit, says Luis Heisted. Yeah, he's not coming anyway. His dad said he's not coming to United while Mourinho is there, says Salford Reds MUFC. Well, that might be a positive then. Comments on the royal blue and gold kit, says Anaban. Absolutely love it. Really, really do like it. I'm not too sure about this plastic thing. I mean, morally and environmentally, it's fantastic that they're using this plastic from the sea to make the kits. But does that mean it feels a bit like a Tesco bag? I don't know. But I do like it. I don't want to have to watch Neymar 27 to know he's a baller next, says Don Snaps. I don't know what that comment's about, mate. Can you not forget that Ronaldo came from the Portuguese league, which is even easier, and still bossed it in the world? The Portuguese league's better than the Dutch league. don't know what you're on about there. And can you not forget that Ronaldo came to Manchester United and didn't become world-class Ronaldo in these first 2 seasons? It was development for 2 years. And Kluivert's nowhere near Ronaldo. Ridiculous comment, really. Mark, you're catching up okay. And watching Sessegnon off Fulham at the moment, wouldn't be surprised if Jose bought him, says London Contacts. Now that is a signing I would go for. Ryan Sessegnon consistently doing it in the Championship. The Championship is infinitely better than the Dutch league. The Championship in England is probably one of the top 10 leagues in Europe. It's very, very competitive. It's an absolute marathon, 46 games, very, very physical, very, very tough. And Ryan Sessegnon, 17-18, is consistently one of the best players in that league. He is a player I would like to see at Manchester United because he's shown that he can do it in a very physical, competitive league. He'd still be a risk. I mean, I'd still put him into the same Justin Kluivert category, that he's going to need some patience and development. And it contradicts Jose anyway. Look, why if Mourinho goes out and signs a 17, 18, 19-year-old, what's his game? What is he doing? Is it just that he doesn't like Martial because Van Gaal bought him and he wants his own youth? Maybe that's what it is. But Mourinho is surely going to go with the tried and tested finished article because it's meant to be, I'm going to win the title next year. Or is he going to suddenly change and start buying development players? As I said a few minutes ago, I'm very confused about Jose at the moment, very confused about what's going on, very confused about what his philosophy is, very confused what he's going to do that's going to make us be a title contender next season. I feel at the moment that if we started the season now, we'd just see the same thing. We'd beat the big teams and then we'll go away to Huddersfield and we'll lose. I don't see anything changing in the mentality of the players, and that's the problem. The players just look bereft of confidence, out of ideas, and lacking belief and leadership, and that's pretty consistent all season. So what are we going to do over the summer to do that? Who are we going to bring in to change that? Is there anybody out there to do that? I mean, we're crying out for a leader. The fan cam said it last night. A lot of you have said it as well. We do need a leader, big time. But who is out there that we can bring in and be a leader? You've almost got to evolve them yourself. I think United are a team of bullies in a good way. I was thinking about this afternoon as well. Like, how have we ended up being second in the league when you look at the stats, distance covered, very low in the league, chances created, very low in the league, possession, very low in the league, but second in the league. How have we managed to do that? And I think the reason we've done it is because we are a very clinical team. We might not have many chances, but we take our chances. We're a very physical team, and we're a big game team, and we're a big physical team as well. And I think we've ground out and bullied teams into results over the season, and that is a positive, of course. It's just a shame we can't tick the other box of being a creative, dynamic side, because that bullying mentality is something that Sir Alex Ferguson's teams had. I mean, I remember that team with Bruce and Pallister and Hughes and Ince and Keane and Cantona. I mean, that was just a team full of bullies and talent, and it works. It can win you a lot of points. And that's the thing. If United and Jose Mourinho can sort this out over the summer, what a platform to be working off. Second in the league, 80 points. You know, if we did click in the summer and maintained what we've done this year, we could be very, very dangerous. But at the moment, I think we look at the squad and the players and we think, what's going to suddenly click in this team that's going to make us a really dynamic attacking side? And actually, does Mourinho want us to be that? I'm not convinced. I think Jose looks at West Ham last night and thinks, I'm more than happy with a point there. You know, Ahmed Hamada says, don't think style will change, but hope we get quality players in the summer that will either win trophy or fail, and Jose moves on and we get someone who will use them properly. Next season is all on Jose for me. Thanks for the contribution, pal. Please do drop a like on the video. We've nearly got 2,000 people watching, which on a Friday night is absolutely fantastic. And I do totally agree with that. And VJ Singh says the squad is great, mentally and system is wrong. I think that's a really good comment from VJ, because I don't think there's a problem in Manchester United's squad. I think, like most teams, I would be looking to make 2 or 3 signings, because most teams are looking to do that. But when you look at the United team and the way it's playing, most of us are probably looking to make 8 or 9 signings, because so many of our players are underperforming. But actually, when you look at the squad on paper, I mean, all right, if I was in charge tomorrow, Fellaini, Darmian and blind, may as well charter a private jet, drop one in Holland, one in Belgium, and one in Italy. And when I say drop, they can parachute out, and you don't need to land, just come back. They'd be gone. I'd bring in 2 or 3 players, and then, but then I'd be looking at people like Martial, Mata, Rashford, Sanchez, Pogba, Herrera, and I'd be going, bloody hell, they're not playing anywhere near the level they could be. What fantastic players they are. Add a couple of players in, a different mentality, more focus on the front instead of the back, and I think there would be big improvement with United. I do think we've got a very good squad. I just think we've got a really bad mentality at the moment, and I don't think it's down to the players anymore. I really don't. I feel sorry for the players, and many times this season I've put it on the players, and actually I'm starting to really sympathise with them now, because I think they're starved as attackers, they're deprived of freedom, and that is the coaching and management we've got at the moment. I wouldn't change that. And I know a lot of you would, and I know a lot of you saying, well, why wouldn't you change it? I don't really think we're in a position to change at the moment. I think we've gone so far down this road that this manager, who has been successful, who has won trophies and might win one in a week's time and has got a second place, he deserves the 3rd year. It might not be pretty, it might be frustrating, but he does deserve the 3rd year. And I'm curious about that 3rd year. And also, Jose Mourinho is a massively intelligent man, and he's a great man, and he's a great manager. I can't believe for the life of me he's not sat there looking at what we're looking at and going, how long am I going to get away with this? Can I go into next season and grind out 2nd place? Or have I got away with it this year doing it? I don't think he'll be naive to that fact. But that's also why I think he wants to keep Fellaini, because I think he wants to have as many options as possible, that when his team is struggling, he can just go long ball. Obviously, someone like Sir Alex Ferguson or a Pochettino or a Klopp or a Pep, they don't have that long ball option because they've got total confidence in the philosophy that they implement into their teams, which is a quick attacking one. Mourinho doesn't. But in a game-on-game situation, I think Mourinho is still the best in the world. A one-game manager, Mourinho is undoubtedly the best player in the world, best manager in the world, because in a one-game situation, he can beat anybody. But in a 38-game season, I don't think football is like that anymore, that a pragmatic approach can do it. And I also think that, let me just take a couple of comments. Bale would suit our right side problem, says Active Dan. Len Tutus has made a contribution, thank you. He says Mourinho is a manager who almost relegated Chelsea. A year later, that same team won the league. If Leicester can win the league, Mourinho has no excuse. Liverpool in the Champions League final, no excuse for Jose. Salah is still in Young's pocket, says Red Devil. We've got a Liverpool fan in here. And Savic and Fred deal agreed, says Sudip. Fred's definitely coming to Manchester. We covered it this morning. We just don't know whether it's City or United. Would the signing of Perisic made much difference this year? We'll come back to that, Jay. It's a really good point. But what I wanted to say, because I will lose track, what I wanted to say is that I've been very consistent about this. I have followed Mourinho right from the day he ran down the touchline with Porto. In fact, further before the season before, I remember watching his Porto team beat Celtic in the UEFA Cup, and was like curious about this young manager. Then he came to Old Trafford, beat us. They went on to win the Champions League. He was running up the touchline, and then he came to Chelsea. And I never liked him, but I never liked him because I respected him, and he was the special one, and he was very pragmatic, very charismatic, very confident, and very hungry. And I've always been intrigued by Mourinho, always been from afar. And when he came to United, I was very excited because of that intrigue and that watching him from afar over those years. I was like, bloody hell, we're getting a winner here. He's so passionate. He doesn't give a damn. All he's going to give a damn about is United, the fans, and winning for United. And I don't think we've seen that, Jose. And I really don't. I don't think he's in love with the game anymore. I think he's still the man who defends himself and never ever criticises himself, but that's become an infuriating thing for the fans of the club that he supports, because there are clear issues in the way he's managing, but he will not own up to them. He will throw kids and players under the bus rather than look at the coaching or anything like that. But I think one of the reasons some fans are losing it with Jose is because he's no longer a manager that you can defend or be proud of, in the sense that he doesn't come out fighting for Manchester United. He's not aggressive or passionate about Manchester United. He's aggressive or passionate about himself, and he doesn't seem very happy. And I don't think that's to do with United. I don't think it's to do with living in a hotel. I think you could give him any manager's job now, and I don't think he'd be happy. I think he's scarred by Real Madrid. I think he was really scarred for the first time in his career when, as a champion at Chelsea and a club that he loved in Chelsea, players turned on him and he lost the dressing room and he lost his job. And he'd never had that before. The special one, he'd never had that before. And his career's been scarred by that. And I think he's not come back from that. And I think at United, he's got a mistrust of players now. And I think that's why he treats players so badly. And I think he's gone very insular. And I think he's still a manager because he's still very young in management terms. And he's still one of the best in the world. But I think he's lost something. And that is detrimental to Manchester United because we're not getting the great Mourinho. We're getting the good Mourinho, the pragmatic Mourinho, the insular Mourinho, when actually, if we got the aggressive Mourinho, the one who doesn't give a shit about anybody else, the one who defends his players and his club and himself to the hilt, all we're getting is Mourinho defends himself. And that's been shown a few times. Chelsea, the fight with Conte, and then on the actual day he's there shaking his hand, going out of his way to shake Conte's hand. Conte wasn't going to give him the hand until Mourinho did it. And the older Mourinho would have been, Larry. Remember at Liverpool, when he went to Liverpool and Gerrard slipped and he's running up, celebrating. Absolutely mugging off Liverpool fans. Another reason we really, really wanted Jose was because Liverpool fans can't stand him. Raj Dalkai says Fergie's second, third and fourth season saw us score just for... It took the greatest manager over 5 years to build his team. Why would it take lesser managers less time to build theirs? Raj, I really appreciate the super chat, but I've said this so many times. I said it under Moyes, I said it under Van Gaal. I completely disagree with this comparison between how long it took Sir Alex Ferguson to turn United around to something that's 30 years later. Sir Alex Ferguson was managing Manchester United, who hadn't won a title in like nearly 30 years. And it was, 20 years. And it was a club that was, from the bottom to the top, a mess. He had to rebuild a whole club from nothing. And it was a different world as well. Not really could you sign foreign players there. It was before the Premier League. It was a totally different world. Mourinho's come in and spent 300 million, inherited anything he wanted to have. And also, in that Sir Alex Ferguson time, he rebuilt the youth. He played exciting football. It's not comparison. It's a poor comparison in my opinion, but it is yours, and maybe some people agree with you. Giovanni says football has moved on. When is the transfer window opening? Says Reeve. I think it's a couple of weeks, mate. And Guardiola didn't need 5 years. Well, Ranieri didn't need 5 years, did he? He needed 5 months, so it can be done. 25 years, says Angarda. Yeah, I was getting mixed up. For some reason, I was thinking 1998. Now we have money, so no excuses, says Against Tech. I mean, Fergie did spend a lot of money. Jay, what was the question that Jay asked? I've completely forgotten it because I've gone on something else. 26 years, says Andrew Ellis. But yeah, that is something as well. I just think that Jose isn't the Jose Mourinho was before. Not by a long way. And maybe that's part of the problem. He's just not the same man, is he? I have to say I really like the United Stand as a fan channel. This is coming from a Liverpool supporter. I like the format and Mark does speak a lot of sense, says Simon Otwell. You can't be a Liverpool fan saying that about me. I'm universally hated by Liverpool fans. And you know what though? For all the negativity, we've got an FA Cup final next week. And I'm not being negative. If people have watched this show, you know when I'm unhappy and you know when I'm ranting. I'm not ranting. I think what I'm doing and what a lot of fans are doing, I'm not Mourinho out. I'm not anti what United are doing or the board or anything like that or the players. I'm really not. What I am doing is I'm confused and I'm searching for answers. I am searching for answers, and that's the whole point of the discussion tonight with you lot. I'm searching for answers and I think we're finding some answers. But what I would say is we've got an FA Cup final next week, which I'm really looking forward to. And I think this, in times of difficulty, you get excitement, because if everything stays the same next season, we're all going to go, well, we knew this now. We're still static, we're still slow, we're still boring. Look what's happening. But do things always stay the same? No, they don't. Things have got to change. This summer could be massively exciting. And it could be massively exciting because of the controversy. Or it could be massively exciting because of the bewildering things that happen positively. Martial and Pogba could leave. And that's going to cause a load of trouble. Or they could stay and Bale could come with Umtiti, Sandro and Milinkovic-Savic. And you're like, wow, to what we've already got. It's a very exciting summer to come and a very defining summer. And I do think it's Mourinho's last at United unless we win the title next year. So whether you're Mourinho in or out, that's an exciting statement, isn't it? I don't think Mourinho will have another summer transfer window at United unless we're title winners next year. And I'm happy to say that, and I know a lot of United fans are saying that. Tyrone Williams, sorry I'm late. It's all right, Tyrone. I'm just about to finish anyway. Anyway, thanks everybody for watching. We will be back tomorrow. We've got a 8 o'clock tomorrow night show. Might do a watch along on my channel for the Eurovision. We'll see about that. I'll be live tomorrow at probably around either 1 o'clock or 10 o'clock. So keep your eye out on the channel because we'll do a show tomorrow around lunchtime. And tomorrow night at 8 o'clock. Obviously, if there's any transfer news, we'll go live. So make sure you subscribe to the channel and you've got your bell on, because especially through the summer, you want your bell on. You want to be subscribed. You want your bell on, and you want to get all notifications because we will go live at ridiculous times when transfers are more or less done. Jay asked about Perisic. He did. Would Perisic have made a big difference to Manchester United? I think he would have made a difference because he can cross the ball, and we haven't got anybody who can cross the ball. So corners, free kicks, and actually from open play, he can put a decent cross into the box. Lukaku loves a decent cross into the box. So I think we would have done better. I don't think we wouldn't have won the league, but I think we would have been better. Maybe 5% better. So I do think he would have made us better. And yes, that would have meant less time for Martial. It probably would have meant we wouldn't have bought Sanchez. But has Sanchez set the world on fire this season? So yeah, I think Perisic would have made a difference. And that's not on Jose. Remember, that's on the board. The board have got to back Jose. They've got to back him. Oh, I just must say as well, there's a link in the video description to our Patreon page, the United Stand Patreon page. We do quizzes, live Q&As and everything like that. It's $2 a month, which is nothing compared to all the extra contents on there. But, today I put a video up on there. Robbie's ramble. Me and Robbie on a ramble. Lovely day here. Me talking about Mourinho. A lot of people feel I was Mourinho out in that. I don't think I was, but I did really just say what I think about it. So link in the video description for that. If you've missed Robbie's ramble, it's on the Patreon page. Link in the video description. You can go and watch that. Thanks everyone for watching. I'll speak to you all soon.